was a harsh hit. Ugh. Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I'm Justin Barone, your friendly neighborhood pothead. Hope you're enjoying your week, your life. Everything's going well for you, you know? And if it's not, I'm glad you came by to, have a few laughs and hang out. We're smoking in the bong, whatever that is, because I don't know. And it's not the name of the strain. I just don't know what it is. I got it out of my sativa stash jar. So it's definitely sativa. It's probably by Green Seal. It's probably somewhere between 24 and 30%. Yeah, but I don't have a clue. But on top of that, we're going to smoke the Blueberry Muffin Blunt. It's by Common Ground. It's delicious, by the way. It's 23.41%. 24, what? It says 23.414 milligrams, but then it says 24.48%. Sounds like someone's rounding up. It's 23.41%. It's got 0.36 milligrams of CBD. It's not like a knock you out indica, but it's definitely very relaxing and very calming, and it's actually very tasty. I've had a couple of them. But yeah, I hope you're enjoying your week. I hope life's been good to you. But I want you to imagine this, okay? It's the end of the week. You're with your girl, your mistress, your wife, whatever. Your best buddy, your man, whatever you want to call it, whoever it is. But imagine you're with them. You're in the throes of passion. And you're at that point where it's time to release the human juice. And you bust all over some calcium cannons. Or the crevice of a butt. Or a taint. Or wherever it is. Okay? All of a sudden, a rapidly growing society of beings starts to stake claim to the Valley of Milk. And then it very quickly becomes the home to the city of Splooge. The reason that I want you to think about this is because recently I read that Aristotle believed that sperm was like a Russian doll. You know the Russian dolls, the ones that are, that's a doll inside a doll inside a doll inside a doll. You open it up and like smaller ones keep coming out. So I was reading this thought. Now, the more I read about it, the more I found out that Aristotle was not exactly the one that came up with this, but he became associated with it later on. He, I guess, believed the concept of preformationism, where the development of sperm and like babies and everything like that were I've lost the spot. Oh, he posited that development involved the gradual formation of new parts out of babies and stuff, but somehow he got somewhat associated with with the concept of Russian dolls, which is called spermism, because there was another philosopher, I believed that when sperm like landed, it was as if like they were getting dropped off on D-Day and little preformed people were running across the battlefield. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people thought that was the case. And then it got me thinking, like, if you sauce up some chesticles, okay? And then you shrunk down and you started walking the valley of breasts, all right? Would you see little dudes just building cities? Like each little drop, is like warring factions. That first big deposit is like the homeland, the motherland. And then the smaller ones are like just trying to like eke out a bit of claim to like their space and try to own it, Little wars start. It's like Roman villages are erected on on chests and butts, in belly buttons. Like if you zoned it right down, right, and you got to that size, and then you put yourself in that situation, and under that theory, all one day the creation of chest man or human juice dude, okay, it was there was a great white light, and then they landed splat, you know, I guess, because like inside to outside, you know what I'm saying? But imagine if that was real. Like imagine if that were the case where you'd be, having happy time, fun time, and then all over, right? And if you didn't clean it up quick enough, then it would become a city. Like, is that how chest hair comes from? And that's what they built, is chest hair? I knew a girl once with chest hair, and not like blonde, peach fuzz chest hair. Like, there were black strands of hair, dude. But it got me thinking. And because, weed, right? It got me thinking, like, what if that were the case? Like, what if we were this close to getting overtaken by sperm? Just luckily we wipe down and we clear our areas before anything too crazy happens. Under a magnifying glass. It's not little organisms or whatever floating around and like in this goo. It's actually like a little Trojan dude with a spear, and the more you zoom in, you see the people that they're actually fighting over territory of titties. Could you imagine what life would be like when you believing that sperm, like, okay, so when you go in, right, you're the, what do you call it? What would you call it? I'd call you the Spartan, there's like or not the Spartan, there's the Trojan horse, right? I call it the Trojan serpent because the Trojan, like, let's be honest, our what would you call it? Let's say crevice cleaner, you know, is like the ultimate Trojan horse, right? Everybody thinks it's fun. People like it. There's not all the time, but if you're in the mood, you're happy to see it, you know. But then it causes fucking chaos. Just wreaks havoc. Based on that theory, that means that it shoots war into like her parts are like the Death Star, and our parts are like Luke Skywalker trying to shoot it down. but instead of shooting lasers, we're shooting mini human Trojan warriors, and it goes into and tries to take over the Death Star, and then but it doesn't just blow it up. No, it impregnates it. It destroys it from the inside out. Dude, we're war. Men are war. That's what we are. We're built for it. Our parts are meant to our parts are meant to deceive as well as women. Did you know that? That's what I think. What if, okay, what if, what if they had little castles? And then also, okay, on top of that though, if you're cleaning up that situation, right? And is that genocide? Like, do you have to wipe it up in a certain amount of seconds? Or the next thing you could be brought on, she could bring you in for war crimes and wiping out like a mass population? I I wonder. I wonder if that's allowed. Dude, imagine that. That puddle that you fire across the landing strip to her face. Okay. Is actually the delivery system for a small Trojan society that is willing and able to take over Chest Mountain. You zoom in, you go in, you look in real close under a magnifying glass or like a microscope, and you see little mini civilizations of already pre-built microscopic men and women building society on an areola. What if, here's a high thought, what if that's actually the case? And we are just sperm living in like different areas of a human. What if the world is not the world? I mean, if you could believe in flat earth, okay, you could probably believe the idea that we're really just on a surface that has had contact with human juice. And all the different areas are just different parts of the human body. Like the desert's the belly button. You know? The mountains are the boobs and the butt. Maybe that's what the Grand Canyon is. Maybe it's just a giant butt. And we have been like deposited on all these different areas, and that's where we live and that's where we thrive. And imagine if somebody just came with a cloth and wiped us all up. I know I think of weird shit. It's okay. That's what I like about weed. That's what I love about it. You smoke, you think about stuff. Sometimes it's dumb, sometimes it's funny. Hopefully this was funny. It was just a thought I had. This blunt's tasty. You want to know what it's like? It actually does have like a... It's not grape. It's like a purple flavor. And then the wrap, I don't know, for whatever reason, the genetics really work with this, with the wrap and everything. Like, it's super tasty. It makes me want to get down with my lady and build civilizations. Like I said, it is an indica, so it does give you a bit of a body, like it gives you a body buzz. It's not a bit, it's a body buzz. It's really nice, though. Those are the first two puffs. You know what? Let's let the first two puffs sit in, and then it'll tell me if it's like, we'll find out if it's like good or bad, you know? I mean, I know, but I'm trying to give you like a real-time review of what's happening and how it feels. But like with those bong hits, I thought that wasn't very sativa. The beginning was not sativa. Well, I mean like hybrid, but definitely not straight sativa, because I feel it in the eyes right now. And then that's going to be a creeper up onto the body. And even with the coffee, like, it's not really doing much more to keep me up. In fact, there's a pretty good chance I believe I might space out. I mean, especially now that I mix the common ground in, but... Oh, dude. Could you imagine being back in the times where, like, you didn't know anything about anything, so you were discovering it, and you actually believed that, you know, there were tiny little micro people living in your ball sack that you could just, like, shoot anywhere and make a civilization? That's ridiculous. Just as ridiculous as thinking about us as sperm on the human body, and that's what we are. We're just realistically, like, we can't... Our brain can't fathom, and technology can't figure out how to zone out, like zoom out. Like, it's like, what if we are inside of a thing that's being looked at by a microscope, and we've been swabbed. We're that swab. You know what I'm saying? Again, I know I think weird shit. Okay, but that's the part that I like about weed. It makes me ponder stuff. So Aristotle he didn't really believe that. He actually believed that as things grew, parts would grow. But for some reason, he got associated with it. It's actually spermism, is what it's called, where people believed that there were little miniatures inside of sperm that would, like, when the sperm landed, they would hatch and they would go to war, which is pretty funny, I think. Because all I picture when I think of something like that is I picture, like, little dudes in Trojan get-ups, like, all the way to and they're at war, but they're also building, like, stone churches and, like, kingdoms on top of, like, on, like, the runway of the runway of sweater, or Buttopia. Either or. But, like, if you don't get there quick enough to wipe it down, because, like, how long does it take? Well, I guess no matter what, right? If if they land and then you wipe them down, it's genocide. That's what it is. If you yeah, you'd have to be looked at it. But see, that's the thing. Maybe that's what, like, divorce is. the judge is like, yeah, she gets everything because she's also carrying your civilizations, and we don't realize it because they just walk away. You know what I mean? I love thinking dumb stuff. Dumb stuff is fun sometimes. Okay, so this also gives you a bit of a giggle. There's a giggle factor because I feel, like, perked up with the blueberry muffin. It's like a heavy smoke. Like, if you had to categorize it, it's a more dank smoke. It's full. Like, I say this sometimes, but, like, it feels like you're eating it, which is kind of what you want. I think you want, like, something that's fully satisfying in mouthfeel and, like, experience, and when you're inhale, like, you're taking it in. Yeah, I like it. Could you imagine being one of those little Trojan sperms? And all of a sudden, like, do they? Okay, so I wonder they, if they're little mini microsperms, can they see, like, if you were going to squish it, would they see the hand coming down? Or are they not, like, a three-dimensional being? So they are, like Carl Sagan said, like, they don't see the foot coming until the foot is there, and then they're like, what the fuck is that? I could think about this all day. Like, I have a whole kingdom built in my head thinking about what it would be, what life would be like if that were actually the case. Like, you have to catch it so it doesn't land. And that way, like, you know, I don't know. I know it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. But it's an enjoyable thought, no? This blunt's really nice. So I guess what I'm saying is, the next time you think about letting one off, think about what exactly the repercussions are of that cannon. That cannon fire. You know? You could be responsible, Like, maybe at some point it works out and they take over, you know? Like, maybe AI is their disguise to take over. It's really just mini sperms running around. I know it's ridiculous. Shh. That's what I like about weed. Anyway. Okay. No, this blunt's really tasty. I highly recommend it. If you could get your hands on it. Like I said, I don't know if they sell them anymore. But it is pretty good. It's something you could smoke at a party, I think. I've recently learned that I can't drink and smoke weed. I've hit the age where if I drink and smoke weed, there's a very high potential for me to green out. So I have to choose one or the other. Like, even the other day, I had an edible where I was drinking. So I think I'd had like 5 beers, and then I had an edible, 10 milligrams, nothing big, and then I had some more to drink. But halfway through the second round of drinks, I noticed that the weed kind of like bogged me down. Like, if I was drinking, I would have been more. I was getting more and more social. Then when I added weed, even though the weed was supposed to make me more, like, help me be more, it was also sativa. It's supposed to be more social. It just, like, there was a moment where it, like, hit like a wall, and I was just like, oh. And I didn't feel, like, I felt like, oh, I want to just lay here, you know? Even though I wasn't lying down. But that was my thought. I want to lay down. So I've noticed, because even the other day, I had a few drinks and I might have smoked more weed than I thought when I look back on it. But either way, I had a rough day the other day because I was stupid and I had like 4 shots of tequila and I smoked a whole bunch of weed in like a relatively short amount of time, and then I was like out of commission till 8. So I greened out. So I realized that, you know what, if I smoke weed and I drink, there's a weird mix that happens that's like no bueno anymore, you know? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bit of a rest from drinking and try to find balance to both. Because I'm not smoking that much lately anymore either. I mean, I got a few things going on right now, so, you know, it's a little bit tougher to find time to smoke, but still. So that's my plan. Those are my thoughts for this week. I hope you enjoyed the sesh. I hope you come back next week with me, Justin Barone, your friendly neighborhood pothead. I should get rid of that, right? Like, it's kind of dumb that I call myself that. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you come back next week on Thoughts Off the Stem on Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, Podchaser, Pandora, Good Pods, everywhere you get a podcast. Did I say Google Podcasts? You get it everywhere. Everywhere. It's out there. And if you're watching this, subscribe. Share. Like. You know, let people know. I'm just trying to have sesh. Just want to have sesh with you. I just want to smoke some weed and be company. I don't know. Anyway, those are my thoughts off the stem for this week. Check out tots420.com. Like I said, subscribe. Thank you for making it this far. Until next time, keep your lids low, baby.